Good morning, guys. Good morning. I'm sharing out this video really quick. I'm trying to be quick. I'm trying. Okay, done with that. How are you doing today? Mahala? Am I saying your name right? Are you on Mahala? Hey, Helen. How are you guys doing today? So it's officially Maybon. If you saw my weird post this morning, you saw me. I woke up in a funk, and then I was like, I almost took it down. But then I was like, no, I'm not going to take it down because it's me being real. Like, it's been really hard to get in any mode to try to celebrate the beginning of fall or autumn or Mabon. Samhain is coming, Halloween. Like, I'm all excited about that, but I can't do the traditional old ways of Mabon, like to plan like the meal or whatever. Like, I don't have the energy. So that's what I really meant. The season itself, this season we are in now, I love, especially up here in New England. Like, it's so epic up here. Much better than Georgia. So I just meant like I don't have any fucks to give about trying to plan out a dinner or whatever. Like, no, that's what I meant by my post. So I'm on here because I want to talk about quantum trance. Because I know a lot of you still don't understand or know what it is that I do, and that's my main thing. It's trying to make me add people live. I'm not doing that. So, yeah, I'm really out of it, guys. So this is not, I don't know how to do professional videos. I just don't. Then I get on here and ramble. It works for me. So, okay. So, quantum trance. What is it? If you have heard of quantum healing hypnosis technique or quantum healing hypnosis therapy, QHHT, the technique created by Dolores Cannon, that is my baseline. That's what I do. That's how I get you into trance. That's what I learned as far as trance work or hypnosis. It is hypnosis. Is so it gets you into the somnambulistic state of trance. That is the deepest level you can go into without completely falling asleep or just waking up. And our body naturally gets into this state twice a day at least, unless you have insomnia and you're not sleeping. But it's twice when you are falling asleep, the state you get into right before you go out, and then the state you're in when you first come out of sleep. That's the somnambulistic state. Most of us aren't even aware of it, because it can, go so quickly, and you're usually not laying in bed talking or, being aware of what you're doing when you're trying to fall asleep. So that's the state you're reaching, and that's what we're doing in hypnosis. And what it does is it's opening up your consciousness more, so higher aspects of you can come through and speak. Your higher consciousness or your subconscious, different aspects of you, even your inner child can come through and speak. It's whatever you need at the time. That's what you're going to go into. A lot of times when I start these sessions, the first thing that happens is people go into a past life regression, something they need to see for whatever pattern needs to come up. If something's going on in your life, like repeating patterns, the same type of relationships, like people who deal with narcissists a lot, money problems. A lot of these patterns stem from past life traumas that need to be acknowledged, and so you can even just let it go so it'll stop affecting you now. So past life regression is part of what I do. People can go into that. It'll just automatically happen if that's what's needed. And then we keep going, and the goal is to get your highest self to come through. That's the end goal. I usually get a higher self because you have different aspects of you. it's hard to explain in human terms, but your consciousness is so huge. It is such a massive energy. It doesn't all just sit and stay in your physical body all the time. It's really hard, especially if you have any type of chronic pain issues, if you're under a lot of stress, anything that's bringing your vibration down, it makes it really hard for this energy to get in your body and stay there. So that's the point of these type of sessions. Hey, Bella. That's the whole point of these type of sessions, because so much is happening in our human life as far as work, family. You got to go here and there. You're stressed. You have lists to do, you know, the human stuff. So it's a block to your consciousness all flowing through you, which gets into the box I'm also creating for the auction that's coming up soon, my chakra reset box, because I've had 2 sessions where the higher aspect of consciousness could not get through someone, and it's usually due to chakra blocks. Now in one, I was able to get the block out with energy work in the session so the consciousness could come through. So it was fine. It did get through. I've only had 1 session where nothing could get through at all, and the person did have an entity at their crown chakra that was blocking it, and there was a lot more going on there. So that's the 1 session I've had where we did not get her talking. Her higher self was not coming through talking. Sometimes it happens. So what are the advantages of this type of session, though? What is it? What do you actually get out of it? So let's get into that. Advantages of a quantum trance session with me. It activates memories from past lives. It can activate dormant DNA. And the dormant DNA, a lot of people, everyone actually, we've all been taught, like the medical side of DNA, that you only have 3 strands. You have more than that. They call it junk. It's not junk. That's your galactic DNA. That is DNA from other lives you've had on Earth or off Earth, all of it. The amazing thing about these sessions is when you're pulled to come to me, some of the DNA can be activated, because not everyone, you're not going to have all your DNA from every life activated in this life, because it's so much. But you do have things come online as needed that you need, that helps you in this life. So it awakens, what it does is it will awaken knowledge within you. That's pretty much what it means. When dormant DNA is activated or comes online, there's knowledge within you you don't even know you have that will come online with the DNA. So it's like you wake up one day and you all of a sudden understand things better, or you all of a sudden have this pull to something you never were before, like maybe Viking history, or, I mean, it's endless. It's hard for me to even come up with examples, because it's just endless possibilities. It's whatever is right for you and what you're supposed to have happen in this life, your soul path. That's what's going to come online for you. Another advantage to quantum trance is that you access parts of your mind that you normally are not aware of in waking hours. And so this is how you get answers you seek to, like, the really big questions, like, what should I be doing? Is my career right? What life path am I supposed to be on? A lot of people, there's so much chaos going on the planet now. It has people feeling a little lost. And with the COVID crap that has happened and people being stuck at home for a while, and a lot of people are rethinking their career. Well, have I even been doing what I want to be doing, what I should be doing? Like, what should I be doing? This is how you can get answers. Another thing this level of trance does is it bypasses the conscious mind, the ego, the human ego. So this means you're not going to be in defense mode. If information comes through that you're not expecting, you accept it. Because you feel your truth. It's you speaking. It's just another part of you speaking. So the ego is not going to kick in and be like argumentative or defensive or saying, well, this can't be true, that can't be true. Like, that doesn't happen. You stay in a more neutral point of view, which means the ego is not involved. Emotions are not involved, so you're getting clear answers. And you're in a calm, peaceful state. Again, you're not going to be argumentative with yourself or arguing. Now, some people, after a session, go home, go about their life, and argue what they heard from themselves. I can't stop that part if you're going to continue to argue it, but you'll at least have the information. This is a natural way to access altered states, the states some people try to reach in different ceremonies, like with ayahuasca or, different substances that can alter your consciousness and open you up to seeing more. This can do that also without you taking anything. So you're receptive to your unconscious imagery and you're actively working with your imagination. And when I say imagination, a lot of people think imagination like fiction, imaginary, not real. But your imagination is the part of your consciousness that creates lives. It manifests your reality. It creates what you're going through. So you do need to be in touch with that, because when you are doing what we call daydreaming, that can be showing you what is really coming from your soul. What are you daydreaming about? This is why I harp on mindfulness, because if people just zone out and daydream all the time and you have no idea what even happened all the time, you don't know what your subconscious or unconscious is showing you, and that's manifesting in your life, but you have no idea why. You don't know what's going on. Also, these sessions can open your abilities, your shamanic side, if you are supposed to be on a shamanic path, or your psychic abilities. It can deepen how you use your abilities. It can completely change what you do. It did that for me, and I'm seeing other people now who started out with things like Reiki or certain types of energy work, or their card readings, and now they're taking it a totally different way. It's like we started one way and now the work's totally shifting because your consciousness is expanding. So now your work's going to expand. So some of the benefits to you that can happen in the session. Some or all of these may apply. It really depends on what you need. It's, again, each person's totally different, so I can't guarantee that single thing happens with you in your session, but these are common things that happen. One is the deep relaxation. Well, that is going to happen. If you get in trance at all, you're going to be deeply relaxed, and I haven't had an issue with that part. Access to your higher consciousness, a break from body aches and pains. That's a lot of people like these sessions just for that part. They get the mental and physical break from feeling what's going on with their body. The higher self appreciates it because it can now get in the body. Because when you're actively in pain and you're aware you're in pain, your brain receptors are going off. That blocks your higher self from getting fully in. It can restore physical, mental, and emotional wellness as appropriate. So healing can happen if it's appropriate for you, but if there's a health issue you have that either you signed on in this life to go through, if it's karmic, there can be different reasons, but if there's a reason why you're having to go through something, it's not just going to be healed for you, like you have to go through it. Otherwise, sometimes on the spot healing can take place. Limiting beliefs are challenged into what can better serve you. That's what's being revealed. So, because we all have limiting beliefs, and a lot of us are working on that now, but there's still programs, there's still things coming up with us, there's still the triggers. So when you're in these sessions, that's not coming up because your higher consciousness is flowing through you, so the info just flows through. You're not going to get triggered. This allows a jump in learning, and then it can also lead to what we call the flow state for artistic people or writers. It can activate that part of you where now you get in a flow and you start doing your thing, and I call that your genius. I never had that before. I've started having that now, and it's so fucking amazing. I love it. Like, I never in my life imagined I would get to that point, and it's happening now. So, like, I can't even explain how great it feels to get into a flow where you're doing your work and these energies are just channeling through you and it's just coming out of you. That's your genius zone. That's the whole goal to get to as far as work-wise, whatever work you're doing. You can get better focus, new perspectives, improved mindfulness, which is so important because if you're not mindful of your own thoughts, you have no idea what you're manifesting in your life. And this is why a lot of people have a lot of drama and chaos in their life, and they're always complaining about this is shit, that's shit. Well, are you doing anything to be mindful of what you're creating? No, probably not. You can understand all of your dimensions, that's your consciousness when I try to explain, higher consciousness and the different aspects, that's the different energetic parts of you that are in all the different dimensions. So you'll have more understanding of these different dimensions you are linked with. It can give you heightened creativity, again, the flow state, and increase your manifestation power. That's the huge one, because again, if you don't know what's going on with your own consciousness and different aspects of you, if you don't know how your inner child's doing, if you don't know what's in your subconscious, if you don't know anything about your higher consciousness, if you know nothing about all these different aspects that are all part of you, that's what's creating your life. That's what's creating what's going on in your life. So if you're not aware of that, you're going to have no control over your life, and you're not going to manifest well. When I hear witches talking about they're trying to manifest money, or let's do a check spell, I used to try that stuff too. And yeah, it works like for it's a limited thing that works. But if you go beyond that and get to your consciousness and why things are happening, you don't even need that stuff anymore, because you're working at a much bigger level now. And I still call it magic. It's your mental magic. Hey, Alicia. How are you doing? I kind of know how you're doing. We talked a little bit in comments. So, I'm scrolling through all my notes I have on Quantum Trance to see what all I want to talk about today. So those were the main, fast benefits you can get. Let me see. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Do you guys have any questions? And if this topic is interesting for you guys, even if you're not able to do a session right now, if this is interesting to you, please share it out. Another part of trance, I've done posts about this. I want to talk about a lot of people don't realize, because I have people say all the time, well, I can't be hypnotized. TV, people that still watch TV, that is hypnotizing you. It's not the deep level of trance that I'm going to in my work, but it's another level of trance, and that's how they subliminally program everyone. And the commercials, even colors. Have you noticed a lot of restaurants use a certain shade of red that programs your mind to be hungry? There's tones and frequencies they use in the music that you wouldn't even notice until you're aware of this, and then you notice they'll put low frequencies in, especially on the channels with mainstream news. This keeps you in a state of fear and panic, and you're falling in line with what they want you to do, because you're in that lower vibration. So TV is programming people through trance, and they don't even realize it. So that's another little part I wanted to add. Athena, while you're sitting in here, anything you want to add? Because Athena's been under trance more. Sorry, phone call. Athena has been under trance more than other people since she lives with me, obviously. So anything you want to add?
I haven't really been outside since you've been doing your live, but I will say, for me, not only as a psychic medium, physical medium, and intuitive, so many layers to me, even my shamanic abilities have been able to come through more. I've been able to access higher parts of my consciousness. I've been able to connect with my higher self in a waking state. I've been able to connect.
And I've seen it. You're way more tapped in than you were before.
Yes.
And you control it better now.
Yes.
That's the big thing, because people talk about wanting their abilities open, but people like Athena, and I went through this for a couple of years, your abilities can come online and you'll be wide open, but you're not grounded, you have no control.
Yes.
It turns into utter chaos. And this has helped you because you're tapped into your higher consciousness.
Yes.
It's not just your 3D human self going through this. You are more aware of what's going on, so you have control over how your abilities are being used, what's going on with you.
I'm able to tap into, so if I have, in my dream state, especially because of my shamanic abilities, in my dream state, I'm constantly going through different worlds. I'm constantly walking through different realms, working. Mm-hmm. But I'm able to wake up and decipher with my own higher consciousness, okay, what was this about? I'm able to communicate with my spirit team on a deeper level. I understand spirits on a deeper level.
Yeah.
I can control that panic that comes over when you are wide open, which when I'm not grounded, I am. I'm completely wide
Yeah.
open and I'm bombarded by spirits. But this has helped me kind of control my telepathy. Like it's helped me kind of rewire my mind.
You know when you want to turn it off now.
Yes, like I know how to attune my channel.
Yeah.
And people don't understand, like when you think higher consciousness, I'm not just tapped into my higher self. I'm tapped into like all parts of myself. I'm tapped into my animal spirits. You know, my animal.
And it includes being more tuned in with your lower self too. Yes. I know we talk about higher self, highest consciousness all the time, but we also have a lower self, our shadow side, and you know you can call that devil, Satan, whatever, because when people are saying they're fighting Satan, you're fighting yourself.
Yes.
But that's also aspects of you, so those are also parts you need to get to know.
And my shadow self, because especially with your shamanic abilities, you have both light and dark. And my shadow, you know, she was very conflicted about how we were going to handle, you know, darker things coming at us, lower vibrational things coming at us, with my abilities being wide open. Like my shadow is very protective of me. But this has helped me tap into her and help, like I've been able to connect with my shadow self and balance my light, my dark.
Do you feel like you defend yourself better now?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, see, and that's a big part. People that refuse to connect with their shadow side and lower self have no defense for themselves, or they're overly defensive because they're fighting everything.
Yes.
But they're not really doing it in a very smart or grounded way, and they're fighting things they don't even need to fight because they don't even understand themselves.
Yeah, like our shadow, you know, they not only take on our pain and our emotional state, they protect us, they defend us. They, you know, they go after, you know, whatever is coming at us.
Yeah.
And it's helped her rein that in, that defense mechanism.
That need to fight everything. Because I see that a lot in the spiritual community. People, I got pulled into this a little bit a few years ago when I was learning, but, you know, people have these groups and saying, well, we're cursing and hexing this, you know, this plight, like this person, or I'm fighting this and that, and always got to fight, and I'm a warrior. And being a warrior doesn't mean you're fighting all the time.
Yes.
And people that are doing that, you're manifesting more of that shit in your own life, because that's all you're focused on.
And, you know, it's funny, because I just recently did a reading, and a lady that I connected with in this reading, she is a warrior spirit. Like, her actual higher self is a Norse descendant. And she showed, like, I am a warrior spirit, but I also know when to balance it. I know when to come at someone, and I know when to back off. And that's what, you know, this is where I, you know, like, connecting into different sides of myself has helped me understand who I am and why I do the things that I do. Why am I so open? Because, you know, like there's times where I'll have a psychic attack and I can't get to the root of it because it's being blocked. And crystals had to put me in trance so I could get to the bottom of these things, get to the bottom of my root issues. You know, getting to the bottom of, am I having blocks that I can't see? Like, this is where we've had to bring in Herman, you know, Herman, I need you to scan me deeper, because
that's another part I love about how I'm doing this, because in QHHT has a lot of rules. A lot. And I understand, because a lot of people that train in QHHT, like Dolores Cannon, who began that, Dolores was not a witch. She was doing hypnotherapy and kind of found this by accident. And so then when they started training, and now Dolores is not even here anymore. She's passed on. I know she's a guide, but to people, a lot of people. Her daughter is running the show now, who's not a witch. You know, they never claimed to have any type of abilities. They stumbled on all this by accident. So I understand there's a lot of rules with their method, because they don't, you know, they're not prepared for dealing with entities coming out and talking. So it's different with me, and that's why I use a different name, because we're going to go wherever this goes. Like, it's not going to bother me if a different entity starts talking. I don't always allow that.
Yeah.
Normally, a session is set up for your higher self, and then if your primary guide needs to come through and talk, that's okay. Herman has come through sessions. He has been allowed by other people whose own consciousness didn't know how to scan their body at a cellular level to look for the root of issues. So since he has actually been a doctor as a human, he understands the body. So he can come through and do that, but that's not even all the time. Not everyone even needs that. Otherwise, I don't invite other things to come through. But if someone has something attached, if it's for a reason, if it needs to speak, we
Yeah.
can go there. That comes up also with breaking soul contracts that are
Yep.
no longer aligned with people. So you got to talk to other beings to break these contracts.
That's actually, it's funny you brought that up because the very first time that Crystal ever like accidentally put me into a trance, like
That
it was
happened in
just
the
a,
car driving.
yeah, like it was
Mm-hmm.
a, we're gonna get to the bottom of your contracts because I was getting pulled different ways, and I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I actually got soul confirmation who my soul origin mom
Yeah, that
was.
was a pretty
Like,
amazing drive.
I mean, and like that was the beginning of opening me up. But getting 5 contracts back, soul contracts, was like
Yeah.
that was such a huge step for me. And that's what I love about how deep we can go because you're connecting not only to your higher self, like we've actually connected to my highest self, and she's come through and spoke through me, and you can hear the difference, you can feel
It's
the
totally,
difference.
yeah.
She
There's a
flows.
lot of people, that claim they are their highest self now and they think it's whatever name, but they claim to be that way all the time. I haven't met anyone yet that is physically possible. I know with mine, with Athena's, with everyone I've worked with in sessions. Hold on, I've got I'm gonna burp. I got energy moving now talking about all this, but your highest self, that part of your consciousness that is straight into source. That is so big. It is such a big energy.
It is.
I don't know anyone that can maintain that all the time. There's no way you could handle life and do 3D things and go drive a car and deal with people and pay your bills and do
Yes.
whatever you need to do and have that energy in you 24/7.
Yeah.
Because I've had people, talk about or make comments when I'm posting about these sessions saying, well, I already do that anyway. Well, and a lot of us can already do that, and that's great. If you can do meditation and get to your highest self, you may not need this, and that's fine. Like, not everyone does. But it's not something you can keep and maintain very well. And then, do you even remember everything that happened? Is another part. Like, these are all recorded sessions, so people get every freaking word of what they said. Also, mainly, the main thing, most people are too busy. Most people are too busy. Like, you have a life, you have shit going on, you have a family, a husband that needs blah blah blah, kids, animals, whatever. Which is how I know a lot of people saying this are not in tune this way 24/7. So this helps people if you are more like a normal person who has a life and you're not claiming to be in your Gandhi state 24/7 floating off the floor. I don't really have a lot of friends that act that way anyway. The ones that even add me, I end up deleting them, so whatever. But I'm like getting off topic. So for more or normal people here that have jobs and have to do things to make money and deal with 3D life, this is a tool. It's like, I don't claim, I'm not the one healing you. I have helped with energy working sessions. I've been requested to help. There's things I can do. But this is more of a vehicle to get you to a point you can't get to yourself. That's the whole point, is you have all this stuff going on in your life. You have people pulling you every which way. You may even be already in tune with spirits, and they will pull you every which way.
Yeah.
So it's giving you that time and space where you can relax. Your body gets to relax. Your body gets a break, and you can just float and be at peace and have all this knowledge that you already have, but now it's able to just come and flow right through you and out of your mouth. And it's really beautiful. And I can feel it in these sessions. Every time I'm done with one, it's like I get pulled up into higher vibrations with who's talking. So when you're done, you come back down and I'm just like, oh my God, like I don't even realize it when it's happening until it's over. And the other cool part about these sessions is the recordings, the energies that happen are being recorded also, and you can freaking feel it.
Yeah.
So if there's a session with someone where you are having a lot of healing done from your higher self or highest self, sometimes even other guides come through, other beings that are part of your spirit team will come in for the healing parts and do things, and they're going through your body and they're scanning, and I mean it gets really, advanced surgeries can happen in these sessions. Like, it's pretty fucking amazing. But they'll say, like, when you have time, replay the recording because you will continue to get healing. It won't stop with just the one session.
Mm-hmm.
You can replay it over and over. So
yeah, something I was gonna add. So speaking of the whole like healing experience, like your highest self coming through. So in my group reading that I did just this past weekend, that is something that every single guide stressed to their human. You need to rest more.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take some time to literally
especially
rest
now
more.
there are so many intense energies that are incoming to the planet. There's intense energies that are coming from the planet, from the people, the collective shit. You know, we're pretty blessed that we're up here kind of out of all the chaos going on,
Mm-hmm.
all the big city shit with Antifa and the hate and all that going on. We're like totally in our own little world up here. But it still affects the collective consciousness and the vibration out in the air. And there's a lot of anger and hate and just nastiness in energies. So we all, like all of us, we need to take breaks and rest more because we can get very burnt out with this energy.
Yes.
Like in the past week, I had 2 like mini seizure things, which I don't have. Like, that's not a diagnosis for me. That's not common at all. So for me to have 2 in 1 week is pretty fucking insane. So it's like we're all being forced to kind of like slow down. We got to figure out what's going on energetically. Is it us? Is it part of us? Or is it coming from outside? We all need that right now.
And the message that I'm actually getting downloads. See, this is what I mean about she activates my freaking genius.
See, yeah, I'm activating her.
You know, I'm actually, like, my higher consciousness is coming through. And, like, this is, like, a direct message. Like, I'm feeling, like, literal source message. Like, this is where, you know, taking the breaks. Like, how are we supposed to get to the bottom of what our higher self is asking us to do? How are we supposed to know what our soul purpose is if we cannot connect
right
through the heart, through the mind? If we can't connect fully where our full self can come through, like I even feel my higher self coming through now, like she's coming through, anchoring in. You know, your spirit cannot do the full healing if your higher self is not fully in you.
Right. Yeah.
You know, she's showing like I'm happy you're not in pain because I can come sit within my body and just flow and heal
the flow
you,
state.
Heal me. And this is what I love about, you know, being like these sessions have literally, like, she's so thankful because it's opened my heart, my literal, like,
and that's a big thing too when people talk about channeling either their own higher self, an aspect of themselves, or other spirits, and they stay in the mental plane. But to truly, truly deeply channel and get really to the deep root and core of topics, it has to come in to the heart chakra and anchor there. Which is why I don't listen to or even pay attention to a lot of these channelings out there anymore because it sounds so mechanical to me.
Yes.
It's just like, no, that's like, you can feel it in your chest, in your heart chakra, real truth. Once your heart chakra is open, that's a big deal. You know.
And you've actually heard when a individual, a different dimensional being came through me. You heard the voice change. You felt the energy change.
Oh, yeah.
It was not mechanical. It was not monotone. There really is a difference. Like, this is how
there's voice changes. There's energy changes. I can always tell the difference. Like, because Athena has channeled other souls in these sessions with me. We have used these sessions for her to channel Herman and different aspects of him. And her primary god, Nick, in different aspects of him. Oh, yeah. So I'm like very aware when it changes, that shift, and the voice even changes. And I've told people, like, when she channels Herman, it's really weird for me because I feel him. It sounds like him. It's like her voice goes away, but her body's there. It's her, but it's Herman. And it's like, part of me wants to, like, you know, run up and like be away that I'm not with Athena. I'll just put it that way. And I have to remember, I'm like, that's Athena. Like, that's Athena.
I can't just go smother her.
Yeah, so like I gotta, like, okay, settle down, Crystal.
But you know, it's interesting because, like, you know, the one time that me and Crystal were, you know, we were just kind of like, we were just sitting outside talking, and I have never channeled I've never channeled energy such as like Norse energy, like
Yeah.
Odin. You know, his energy, like even just a little tiny fraction, he pushed energy, healing energy through me, and I'm telling you what, guys, like I couldn't have done that before. I couldn't
It's
have done that a
crazy.
year ago. I couldn't have done it 6 months ago,
Like
and
with
been able to
me,
handle
I
it.
have that essence of Hecate in me,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's usually just there. Like the essence is just in
Yeah.
there. But when I open up, I have to get to a higher state. Like when I'm making certain products and I start channeling that energy really coming through.
Yeah.
It's like I am in another world and I'm flying through the house doing this and that,
Yeah.
and I get this done, and then when I finally stop and sit down, I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
I don't even know what just happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I caught myself off guard, with the reading that I did when, speaking of Norse, the warrior spirit, her primary guide, he came through, like he channeled through my consciousness and his voice, like his Nordic voice started to come through, like,
Yeah.
and I was just like, whoa, dude, whoa, like, it just, it just goes to show, like, your abilities are there, but this is going to help not only open your mind, it opens your chakras.
It expands everything. It expands
yes.
your energetic body. It expands your chakras. It expands your consciousness. It expands you.
Yes.
So
it gives room, like it's there, but it gives room for that growth, because
yeah.
if you don't have all that sludge, all those blocks keeping you in a certain place, look what happens. Like
Yeah.
you're just, it opens you.
Yep. So I've been on here a good while. I don't know how long. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. But if you want to try a session, book a session, you can PM me directly, or you can go to www.coven88.com. And at the top of the page, there's a tab for Quantum Trance with more info and to book a session. And again, if this type of topic and conversation appeals to you, please share the video out, so I can help book more clients, because I'm finally like in the zone with my work now. This is my soul work. This is helping expand consciousness. When other people are doing this and expanding their own consciousness, it's raising the vibration of the planet. So I've got to get this out there. Like I'm being urged, like myself and guides, all parts of me and outside of me are like, yes, like we got to keep going with this. So I appreciate all of you that are supporters of Coven 88 and share out our work, because without you, like we wouldn't be here. Like we need the help. So thank you guys, and happy Maybon. Even though I made that weird post this morning, but happy Maybon, and you guys have an awesome day.